Centurions.
There are some experimental systems we have not tested yet. Awesome Auger, Stratostrike, Fathom Fan, and Gatling Guard.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I've got a special treat for you. These are unreleased prototypes. And yes, they are secondary made. They were 3D printed and then actually cast with the ABS plastic. But Anson made these very good job that he's done with these. Very impressed with this. I absolutely cannot believe that these exist. And they are pricey because it's a one-man job making them basically to order. And I think he did a fantastic job on this. I just am shocked that I'm sitting here looking at these and that they exist. But if you're going to be interested in ordering these, I'm going to leave a link down below to a Facebook group you might be able to get a hold of. I'll explain a little bit more of that later. But we're going to go into each one of these. Then we're going to talk about what else he's working on, what else he's going to make. Because I think he's going to make everything that was unproduced and some additional extra special treats along the way, like Crystal and Lucy and, of course, Shadow. We'll get into looking at all of this coming up. So I want to start out with talking about Crystal. I got it kind of zoomed in on her, but she does look good. And she comes with Lucy, and she comes with a Shadow figure and a very good-looking rendition. Lately, I've been rewatching several episodes and just kind of thinking, like, how would I have made these if I had made these? And one thing about Crystal that I never really paid attention to is the fact that her hair does kind of flow over her shoulder, and it's always over her shoulder all of the time. I'm not exactly sure why, but all this gear on her vest and her shirt and everything, it looks just like Crystal. It is a very nice representation of the character. I think he did a fantastic job. He's also got articulation that Centurions don't have with a widening stance. It's a different type of articulation than what we saw before. But I'm going to be very gentle with these because although he did make them with ABS plastic and he's very confident in them, I still just want to not break something because these are very pricey for just simply because he makes them by hand one at a time. So, but you've got the shoulder goes out to about there, and you can do a 360 on it if you wanted to, and elbow to about a 90, waist swivel, which is fantastic. You don't have that in other Centurions figures. And then down here you got the widening stance and leg going up to just about there, not 90. And you have some knee articulation and ankle up and down. And the ankles are a little bit of a weak point for her, but in my display it's not at all a problem. Now you can see she's got a wrist communicator built onto her, which we're going to see a little special surprise later on here in a bit. But I want to also quickly point out this Lucy figure. So let's set her to the back, and I usually have her sitting with her back to the wall so she doesn't fall over or anything. But here is Lucy. Now this is very spot on to the animation. I'm very impressed with this. You got some head articulation. It's a little loose on it, and I could tighten that up if I really wanted to, but I don't mind. Once I get it in a pose, it stays posed, so I'm fine with it. But the paint job, like, I believe he painted this by hand. I don't think he used stencils on that. So that is, like, that's very good. If he's painting all this by hand, that's way better than anything I could do. So really amazing job right there. And then I actually think the whole thing is painted just the way it looks and feels. Because, I mean, the resin's not going to print in this color. Very thin on the shoulders here, but he can get the articulation. So we've got shoulder out, and it could do a 360 if you go all the way around, but I'm not going to press it. You've got some rotation right here, and up and down. Oh, up and down. And then the legs kind of just on a ball joint. And you got to find the right spot for Lucy to stand, and she'll stand. And she'll do other crazy, amazing things. And then we have Shadow, which I think Shadow looks really cool, very much like the show. Head's a little bit on a bobble, but I think it looks fantastic. I was gonna buy, so there was an alternate dog that was in another toy line that collectors were buying in to replace Shadow, to have a Shadow, and I was just like, oh wait, someone will eventually make one, and here we go with an official kind of well, not official, but a good looking Shadow overall. But he's got his rockets on his pack there. I'm actually surprised he didn't make those plug in and have actual firing missile mechanism kind of thing, but looks really good. And he's got some articulation, like his paws go in and out a bit on the front and the back, but I'm being very delicate with them. I don't want anything to happen to them. I really like these. Let's do a quick comparison. So this is what we had as a stand-in for the longest time, and she didn't stand up. This is a bootleg of Crystal. Her arms are super long. She doesn't look really all that amazing and that great, and I just feel like he captured her a lot better. Now I would give the face like a 89 out of 100%, but it's really, really close. I'd give this one here like a 55. So I was happy to have something in my collection for the time that I had her. But that's these two in the collection for now. So here she is next to Max, so you can have a good look at what she looks like next to Max. Makes a whole lot of sense scale-wise. She fits in. This works. This is the first actual scale Crystal made that I've ever seen. So next we're going to get a look at John Thunder, and he comes with a silent arrow here, which is really cool, and it is really close to exactly what Kinner had made. And looking at his weapon system, and just to have a John Thunder in the collection is fantastic. I am very impressed that I have one. And I wanted Ramen Toy to make it. I backed it. I was going to back 3 of them from Ramen Toy, and I'm going to get more of these in the future simply because of the fact that there's going to be another weapon system. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But the big cool thing about it is the fact that we actually can get one of these prototypes for an affordable amount, and it looks really close to the original. And I guess I should take this off so that we can see the figure, and we don't really need to take off the backpack or anything because I got all set up to do some fun stuff with. But he's got these. This looks just like what I've seen in the pictures all the time. I think the smiling kind of face is slightly different so that you'll never confuse this for a prototype. And there's supposed to be enhanced articulation so that the legs can spread further out for a power extreme kind of pose. So you can get a better power extreme. So this was Series 2, and they were going to up the game on the figures. Maybe if they kept this thing going long enough, we would have seen it with more of the old figures might have gotten updates to this type of articulation. Who knows? Kenner's so big on reuse though, but this does look fantastic overall. I'm just glad to finally have one in the collection. So much fun. Now this comes with a really cool helmet, which is different than any of the other helmets that are out there. And I actually think Rex's helmet's a little bit different too, but we didn't get a helmet with him. He's got this, is it a vibro knives, I think what they call it? But it looks really cool. And I know that was going to be an inclusion with the Ramen Toy one, but we never got the Ramen Toy one. So this is what we're getting. Check this out. So this is going to plug into like other things like on the arms and wrists and stuff, but I have something in the way, so I'm keeping it down here because I got something blocking it. But they plug in these smaller 2 yellow guns that it comes with. Now we have this here, this backpack. Now whenever I show side by side, you'll notice that this thing is brown in Kinner. He made it blue. I didn't ask why. I guess I should have, but I was just so excited to actually have it and for it to work. And let's see it shoot. And it actually functions. I believe I saw somewhere that it's supposed to hold the missile right here. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong on that, but of course we're talking unreleased prototypes, so I mean, who really knows about all this stuff? But I'm impressed. It works. It has the string itself is part of the launching. This well, it's not really part of the launching. It's just an effect. It's a giant spring inside that does the launching and all that. So fantastic job. Maybe I'd like to get another one of these in the brown if that's possible in the future. But I am impressed. John Thunder, Silent Arrow. All right. So next up, we are going to take a look at the Fanthom foil for Max Ray, and this is really cool. I think that they did a good job with it, and I just can't believe this thing's made. I know Ramen Toy's making it, and it's one of those things that should have been produced but never was produced, and we're gonna see these comparisons. It's really close to yet another one that's out there, but man, this is just awesome. I do want to show one of the features in the back. So since we're right here, if you pull up on this, that makes that fan go, which is really cool. And from the back, it's easy to see that we can adjust those up or down on ratchets. And then this adjusts up and down on ratchets. I think these are fixed. They feel rubbery. So, I mean, he used different materials, probably assuming what it would be when it actually, if it is actually produced by Kenner. And you see some detail down here in the bottom area where you see the detail with that engine area and all that kind of stuff looking really good. Just, he had to study all those photos and try to get it as close as he could. And I think he did a fantastic job with it. And this stuff takes years to do. And then he has these here. I believe these go in and out, but let me see here. It might just be my figure. I had it working just the other day. But anyway, they go in and out. I might not have the best figure in it, but it's still really cool. The windshield feels like something that we manufactured by actual Kenner or Hasbro or one of them, but probably better than Hasbro. And there it is, and it goes up. You don't need a helmet in there because, of course, he has this. We have these missiles on the side, which I don't think he made. I think he glued those on. I don't think these are detachable. I'm not going to try to pull them off. They didn't pull off for me. Maybe I could have pulled a little harder. But one thing that does happen with this, and I guess we'll go, let's be safe and not lose them, and we'll shoot the missiles. They shoot, they fire, actually firing missiles. So I know what you're already thinking. You're probably all thinking that Max already has this weapon system, but no, this is the, is it Depth Charger? Is that what that one's called? I'm actually drawing a blank because I'm keeping up with the names of these unreleased ones. And look at that. That is just like so in line with the toy line. The oranges and yellows are very close to Kenner, a little bit lighter than there's Kenner's darker, and these are a little bit lighter, but still, just it fits in just fine. And that looks good. That looks really good. And this isn't quite as big. In my opinion, I think that they're in the same like size scale when they look at price point on the shelf, but it just feels like this is a bit chunkier than this one over here, and I kind of like the smallerness of that. Now I'm going to say that I'm very impressed with this, and it's another one where I saw the picture when I was collecting like early on in like the 2020 or something, and I was like, there's no way anyone's ever going to make that. I wish somebody would make that. This feels like Kenner actually made it. Looks outstanding. This missile here, and I'm sure he did his research, but this looks just like the one in the battery pack kind of thing going on, but it actually rolls. Now he does have this is plastic, and I bet Kenner would have made rubber to slip over it. I'm glad it's plastic because rubber breaks down over time. And then we have this in the back, which really doesn't do anything. It looks kind of cool, but I think Kenner would have used it to trigger something possibly. But we have this button over here, which when you push it in, and let me make sure that everything's aligned right and get it ready. This button right here spins it, and this rolls really well. So I mean, very, very cool, very impressive that this was pulled off. Now he comes with a helmet, so this is a helmet that's made just for this vehicle. I knocked that off trying to get the helmet off, but very nice looking helmet, very professional, like something you would expect. Now the thing about this helmet is that since this is the only other weapon system that comes with its own special helmet, and I'll show you the one it does. Ace's Orbital Interceptor actually comes with its own helmet too, so this is its own special helmet. And yeah, this Ace still has a helmet down here, but it's the only other system. Really cool stuff going on right there. Now Jake's Awesome Auger has a rolling mode and a kind of laying down rolling mode, and when it's in this mode, when the wheels roll, look, the saw moves. It's really cool. Are you getting some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles mutant module feel right here? This is the same exact mechanism in the Playmates mutant module. And how do I know? I know because I know. This is really cool, and it's interesting, but it reminds me of something. Hold on a second. I'm trying to think of what it is. Give me just a second. I'll be back. I think I know what it is. Oh, it's Wild, and it's a weasel. It's the Wild Weasel. The same kind of concept where his vehicle can lay down. This is a four-wheeler versus that. But this can be up, it can be down. This can be up, down, and reclined in a kind of reclining seat. But let's see what this thing looks like standing up. All right, so here's Jake in his standing up mode, and I gotta say, this pretty much is very, very close to what they had in the actual photography. So that looks pretty close. Pretty spot on. I think these were supposed to rotate, but instead they unpeg. You unpeg them and flip them around to get them into this mode. And there's a couple of cool things that happen in this mode, actually, that I thought this mode would just be a waste. Why would I ever want it? But you can move these wheels and it would spin the turret. He is top heavy, so I'm worried about him falling over. Not that the construction's bad on this, but the fact that he is just so top heavy. But check this out. The turret rotates right here with the wheels. That is pretty cool. And then, of course, if you can get this out of the way, you can still get the blades to spin. Yet again, it's a bit reminiscent of Wild Weasel right here. As you can see, he's got a stand-up mode, but very, 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 very different. Really cool. I will say one thing. I'm not being negative on this, but I think Kenner would have made these shoot. This here shoot, and these are static. It doesn't shoot. Unless I'm doing something wrong. I should go ask my wife, because she says I do a lot of things wrong. But anyhow, this looks really awesome. Really cool to finally get an unproduced item, something new for Centurions. And it's been, what, 40 years? I do want to quickly do the transformation on this as I started just kind of putting this back to set it down and set it aside. I figure, why not? People might be curious about that. So I just unpeg that, peg that back into here. We're going to pop this top piece here off. We're going to slide this around, and this actually can go around to here. And then he's going to bend his legs up like so. So it's like he's kind of, at least they're out of the way of the rolling mechanisms. We're going to swing around here to the back. And we are going to plug this into the tab. There's a tab and a hole. Tab. There's a hole. There's a tab. Plugging that in. That looks great. We're almost there. This goes here. And for whatever reason he had this on here, I'm not sure if that's correct, but that's what we are going to do for my display. Awesome auger. That's actually about as easy to transform as this. And I do want to point out that the backpack and the front piece stay plugged in all modes. It is a really ingenious design by Kenner, and Anson brought it to life. Alright, so before I go any further, we're going to get into the Gatling guard here. This thing is just absolutely beyond ridiculous. Not that Anson made it. I mean, it blows my mind he made it. But it's beyond ridiculous that Kenner even thought of this. I mean, what were they thinking? Look at this ginormous weapon system. It's freaking huge. I mean, huge. I don't even know how to put it into words how ginormous this thing is. It is absurd and ridiculous as a weapon system to be so big. But that's because it has a lighting gimmick. It needed batteries in there. And it's a dart gun, or well, maybe not a dart gun. I don't know exactly what was going to shoot out of there. Was it going to be darts? Was it going to be missiles? But this thing is ridiculously insane. Kenner, what were they thinking? This is just wow, huge. I gotta say that I just can't believe that this thing was made at all. It just blows my mind. We'll point out that I think all of the stuff that's white should have glown in the dark, but in glow in the dark, kind of like the Rex is. And when the Kenner was going to make theirs, I think that was not going to glow in the dark. This doesn't glow in the dark, and I did have an issue with mine. I'm getting a replacement part, but my LED doesn't light up. But it is still really cool. I will show you an effect very similar to what it's supposed to do, that I think Kenner's is supposed to do. But let's get into taking a look at the features of this guy. First off, we are going to press this, and if I've got them pushed in all the way, I'm going to give this just a little bit of assistance so that the effect works, but this moves as this moves. Now, the way I think Kenner intended it to work was you push the button and it goes to the next one and charges the beam and fires. and goes to the next one, charges beam fire. If you see here, he's got a magnet in it, and he had an LED, kind of like the Cyan Culture Transformer, where all those are magnet LEDs. When it passes by that, it sends like a flashing light, like it's shooting the missile and charging it. So I will show the effect really quick on what I think it would have looked like had Kenner actually made it. And this is just such a complex kind of an idea. Just having a representation is so much fun and so cool. But let me show you what I think it was supposed to do. Now as we turn the light out, the Rex is going to light up a bit. The screen probably isn't, the camera's probably not capturing it. My camera does not capture the glow in the dark as well as it should, but it's showing it a little bit. But the gun, what happens with these Star Wars blasters is it charges a Nerf dart in the Star Wars blaster, and then it shoots, which I'll do a second one here, and it shoots a Nerf dart. That did not work out very well. And the glow in the dark never works well with my camera. I try to keep a little bit of an ambient light on so it's still there, but then it kind of washes out the glow. Anyhow, these cheap little, I think this one was like $3 on clearance, and you just pull it back and lights a light up and it charges the dart and you shoot it. And I thought it was the coolest thing. It looks like a laser blast in the dark. When you're just chilling in the dark, it looks like someone just shot a laser in here. So that is really cool, and I think that's exactly what was going to happen with this weapon system back in the day. But let's look at the other features. He's got two of these blue removable missiles right here, which I'm not going to remove them. I've got them in there, and I just want to keep it that way. And then he's got what looks like a surfboard. That'll actually, I hear this attaches to the top of his other weapon system, which is the electrocharger. That's what I heard. I did watch a Michael Mercy video on these, and he did a great video. Go check Michael Mercy out. And this is a cool little laser kind of blaster in the front. This front piece in here. Now, I'm being real delicate with mine because I just don't want any issues, but this is really cool looking overall. One last thing, this will fold back to the back, but I'm not going to do it. It is a bit challenging. And then the wings fold up, or these fold up and turn into wings, so it's supposed to fly away. And that is yet another feature on this, and it's just ridiculously huge. Just, oh my gosh, ridiculously huge. Very heavy. I bet you Kenner's would have been even heavier than this one. So here's Rex out of the weapon system, and I'm eventually going to get, I think he's going to make a 2.0. This literally is just Max, but cast. So he made a cast of the Max figure, made a special head for it, and then he made this with glow in the dark, and it is basically Rex, but I think he's going to do a whole new one, kind of like John Thunder was built from the ground up. I think he's going to build this one from the ground up eventually down the road, but I'm so happy to have one just in the collection representation, and it fits the bill for me. Plus, I do want more than one. I actually like to have 3 of each of the characters, just the weird quirk that I have with the collecting. But there he is on his surfboard. I'm just going to leave him on that surfboard thing. It helps him stand. It looks good. There's the little missiles. But let's see if we can get a little bit of a glow in the dark from this guy. Let's see how well it works. I'm going to turn the lights off. All of the lights off. And he's glowing, but the camera just doesn't do it justice. Maybe if I brighten it a little bit in editing, it's going to work, but he does glow. Does glow pretty well. Let's compare him to. Here's the absolute most glowingest glow figure ever made, Scareglow. And let's compare him to the glowingest glow figure ever, Scareglow. Oh, well, hey, does he light up more? Oh, I actually supercharged him on the light and not Scareglow. Sorry, Scareglow. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha ha. Here's some more stuff that's in the works that we have. Now, this is a picture, snapshot from Michael Mercy's video, which he's just awesome. He put this nice little collage together in his video to show what's going on. We've already looked at one. We've checked that one out. This one. We haven't seen this one here. That one is the Strato Strike, and there are plans to make that. So Anson actually has that one in the works right now. I think that's the next one that he's going to be making. That is awesome. If you do look at these unproduced, though, I want to show these pictures here because you see the blue. This is blue on this, and I don't know why Anson went with the kind of the purple, but that's what he went with. I would actually like the colors to be more like the prototype, but that's okay. There's also these things down here. Now, these are the Cybervore, Panther, and Shark. He doesn't have plans to make those just yet, but I bet he will make those. Those will be awesome. He's also got in the works, and I saw it. I already saw this, and he's got this Thunder knife for John Thunder. Thunder knife. Looks pretty cool. Now, that was the system that was going to come with the ROM and Toylo when they were going to make theirs. And then Rex Charger and his Electro Charger. I don't know if that's in the works yet. And then there's one more thing where it's actually an extra. There's 3 different add-ons to the standard weapon systems for Jake and his Land Laser, Max and his Aqua Blaze, and then Ace with his Arrow Salt. Arrow Salt. Alright, so this is where I'm storing them in the display. Yeah, they look good. They fit in. They look great. They kind of fit in with the rest of the display pretty well. I'll be doing an updated collection tour eventually. But yeah, those look good. A lot of fun. That thing is huge. So I sure hope you enjoyed this look at the Kenner Centurions unproduced. These are custom made by a gentleman by the name of Anson. He did a fantastic job, and I'm really very appreciative of it. I'm so happy to have these. These were not cheap. They were like, I've got over $1,000 in what's here, and I think it's worth every penny simply because I just don't see anyone else making it, especially something as ridiculous as that. Kenner was ridiculous with that, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are any of you guys interested in getting stuff like this? Is this something that you just aren't interested in because Kenner didn't actually make it? And is it just something fun to watch that, oh my gosh, they made more stuff? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, Teddy and Hanger out.
Okay, Rex, this is where you learn how to be a real Centurion.
Fortunately, we still control the beaming pod in the Academy. Power extreme!
Let's give the bad guys a headache.
Now, let's see if Gatling guard lives up to its advanced billing.
Calling Centurion land.
Centurion Air at your service.
Okay, gang, let's see if we can't shake up Terror's troops.